I would like to speak to you today about, something that's really close to my heart. It's about internships and, dealing with getting rejected from your favorite internships. I think exposing yourself to a large talent pool at university, I think obviously counts with disadvantages. And one of that is, getting exposed to rejection on a very constant, like on a constant basis. And, I've applied to about like 300 internships across the last two application cycles, and I've faced countless rejections. It really, really sucks. But, with time, I think I've developed about three strategies that, I use to kind of deal with rejection and, improve, with time. And I would like to share them with you because I feel like, someone coming to university would certainly benefit from it and, be the best version of themselves, sooner than I'll ever achieve that. So moving on to like my first strategy, it's analyze. I think it's very important that at every interview or like at every point of an application that you submit, it's important to kind of analyze the room for your growth. I think every person, every single individual, all the way from, like a CEO to like, like entering junior developer at a company, literally every single person, they always have like room for improvement. And there's always room for improvement when it comes to like interviewing too. So like when you're rejected, I think obviously like certain companies, like when they have like 30,000 applicants, they're not going to give you like very personalized feedback, right? They're not going to give you very specific feedback because that costs them too much time, too much money, etc., etc. And obviously there's only so much you can control. But if you're going to get rejected, and you're not even going to get a phone call, don't. I think the first thing that you need to think about is how you improve your resume, because obviously the reason why they didn't call you back is because they didn't find your resume worthy enough for a callback. I know that's harsh language, but or they didn't notice it before. That could be because of like just because of luck. But I think that's always a bit of a signal for you to kind of say, okay, like there's always things I can do to kind of improve my resume. I'll obviously get into the specifics later, but like a few things you can do is just get involved with different extracurriculars. You can get involved with, you can come up with different side projects for yourself, or you can even like commit better or like commit more hours to your academics. Obviously these kind of things depend on the specific role and job you're applying to, but there's always something you can do to improve your resume, and I think everyone should keep that in mind. The second scenario is when like if you get an internship, like if you get an interview and then you go to the interview and you get rejected at that point. That means that it's a clear indicator that you can always improve your interviewing skills. If it's like a technical position, that means you can obviously kind of brush up on your technical skills much better, go back to the drawing board and practice harder and things of that nature. When it comes to other interviews that involve more soft skills, you can obviously fine tune your soft skills and present them much better at an interview level. So things like that you can always work on. So I think something that you can always keep in mind is before and after after every interview that you do, keep like a track of the questions that they asked you and the answers that you gave, because sometimes these questions could actually pop up in different interviews, and the answer to them, like like you're more prepared for that answer next time, because you've already gone through like learning after a mistake and things of that nature. So like always keep those in mind. Do not expose interview questions to other people, because that breaks like a trust agreement with the company. I'm just gonna put that out there. Keep it for your own reference and for your own goals of self-improvement. So I'm gonna move on to strategy number 2, and that is respond. I think it's very important to respond to reaction, and obviously the first procedure is like working hard and just improving your time. But I think on a broader level, I think it's about like kind of changing your mindset and actually truly working on your goals. And the reason even though this sounds abstract, the reason why I'm emphasizing on this is because I think people romanticize their goals much more often than they actually work on them, because the idea of working at like company XYZ or like a big tech company or a big four company is much more exciting than the work you need to put into that. And I realized personally too, like I'm guilty of this too, right? Like I analyze like the 200 to 300 applications that I've submitted over time, and I've seen that whenever I face a rejection, the rate of submission that I have for further internships is going to like, you know, reduce. Or rather it reduced. Like there's a significant drop because I was easily discouraged by like rejection. I think it's very important to keep your head high and, you know, always realize that sometimes, you know, like you need to, like someone getting rejected might have the energy that someone, like, you know, if someone's not rejected, you're not going to have the same energy that someone that someone has when they went through rejection, right? So we all need to kind of channel that energy of rejection onto like better opportunities and better things. So you need to learn to persevere, kind of like keep applying for internships and just keep getting better through that application process without getting too discouraged around. So respond to the deficit, respond to the challenge, and don't just keep it in your head and don't do nothing about it. I think it's very important to kind of step up and, you know, solve the problems that come with rejection. And I'd like to move on to my last tip now, and that is, you know, and this sounds cheesy, but be kind to yourself. Truly and genuinely be kind to yourself. I think university is a very, very tough time. I know it's you know, portrayed on all these magazines as a very fun time where, you know, you're sitting in a garden with like, you know, people of like all, you know, with all like a diverse set of people, and you're having like a really good time all the time. And but it's not, you know, you go through anxiety, you go through imposter syndrome, and you go through things of that. And, you know, job rejections obviously add on to this entire saga of emotions that we have when we are at university. It's very easy to feel like you're not good enough, but I don't think that's what you need to kind of get from what I'm trying to say. I think we are like our best critics. So I think it's important to obviously improve ourselves, but at the same time it's also important to remember that, you know, the goal always is to just be the best version of ourselves at an interview or at an opportunity, because that's what we carry for the rest of our lives, right? Like I think people are sometimes put too much pressure on themselves to get that dream job right away without understanding that, you know, there are so many things that we can't control in this process too, right? There's so many things that we can't control. Like, and I've heard of someone who went through the entire interview process, got through every single stage, and didn't get the position because the positions filled up sooner than his application process, like the duration of his application process. That's just super unfortunate. There are some cases where, you might be one of the greatest engineers in the world, but you might not be a good fit for a specific team within that company. That might be the only team that is hiring. And there's not much you can do when you're in a situation like that. And honestly, sometimes you can give the best interview of your life. You might be better at that specific interview than the practice interview you had, but you might get rejected. And there are such rejections where, you know, there is no specific explanation, and we need to get used to that. So like, be kind to yourself and just remember that I think it's just important to always just learn to give your best at something, and that's what you can control. If you're going to focus on things that you can't control all the time, it's going to be a very depressing journey. University in general is going to be a very depressing journey, and I don't want you to go through that. I think it's very important for you to just constantly persevere, persist, and, you know, just push through like all the difficulties that you're going to get. And just always remember that diligence and just working hard is the dream, you know. And if you carry those kind of characteristics and those traits throughout your career, there is no way that you're failing. My mentor always says that if you're improving and if you're constantly finding ways to improve, you're truly not failing. And I truly believe in that, because that works out very well for me, right? So yeah, just keep your head in the game and trust the process, and just keep working hard. And, you know, just keep these tips in mind whenever you face a rejection, if and when you face a rejection. I hope you don't, but if you do, I think these will definitely help you. Thank you.